opposition or other groups active in Afghanistan at the moment because the Taliban have taken over. And you have been accused by Massoud's National Resistance Front of getting involved in the damage and destruction that's been done to their group in Panjshir. Has Pakistan been providing drones in that conflict, that part of the conflict?
Becky, do you know, we are as shocked and surprised as everyone of what has happened in Afghanistan. Our intelligence agency, ISI, gave us a report that number one, that the Afghan government, after the US leaves, would last for months afterwards. But they would fall, but it would last for months. Secondly, according to our intelligence agencies, Taliban would not be able to take over all of Afghanistan. They would be able to take over the Pashtun areas, which is almost half, but they would not be able to, and there would be a protracted civil war, which is why we tried our best. I called over the Taliban leadership, Mullah brother, who's the vice prime minister. I called them over. We tried our best to make them understand that since you should not try and take over Afghanistan militarily, you should have an inclusive government, because otherwise there will be a protracted civil war. So we were as surprised. None of us expected what happened in Afghanistan.
Briefly, how would you qualify the US-Pakistan relationship today? And what sort of relationship do you want to see with the US?
Unfortunately, you know, our relationship during this whole, the US occupation of Afghanistan was a terrible relationship. It was, the US said we are paying Pakistan, you know, and they paid us $9 billion for civilian aid and $11 billion for military aid. And they said, we're paying you, and so we were like a hired gun. In Pakistan, people, I'm not talking about the leadership because I think we were let down by our leadership. The people felt that here, by joining the US, we had these bombs going on everywhere. Benazir Bhutto was killed because of that. Our economy tanked. I mean, we were $150 billion plus we lost to the economy. So here we were on this level. The US felt that we were supposed to make them win the war in Afghanistan, which we never could. And so therefore we had this terrible relationship based on mistrust. What I would like a relationship with the US is now, like the US has a relationship with India. You know, not one-dimensional relationship where they're paying us to fight. We want a normal relationship.
So, responding to the fact that Joe Biden has not contacted you directly, your national security advisor recently said, and I quote, "If a phone call is a concession, if a security relationship is a concession, Pakistan has options," he said. Is China that option? And given the current state of relations between the US and China, is that a veiled threat of sorts?
I don't actually know in what context he said it, but I can say one thing, that if President Biden didn't call, I mean, what he's been through, I'm watching him, what he's been through. It's, you know, he's been blamed for this, you know, the exit from Afghanistan. I thought he actually did the only thing right. What else could he have done? Because how could you ever be prepared for the army capitulating 2 weeks before? So therefore, I mean, I would imagine he's very busy. But our relationship with the US is not just dependent upon a phone call. It needs to be a multi-dimensional relationship.
Do you consider the US pushing Pakistan into the arms of China at present in an effort to secure your own stability and economic prosperity going forward? Are you choosing a side effectively at this point?
Becky, our relationship with China goes back 70 years. It's a very strong relationship. It was Pakistan which opened the doors of the US to China in 1970 when Dr. Henry Kissinger was introduced to China, or we were the go-between. So, I mean, our China relationship is not dependent on what it is with US. We would like a normal relationship with the US, I repeat, like it has with India.
Antony Blinken suggested that Pakistan's role in Afghanistan has been shaped by its concerns about its enemy and neighbour, India, and its role in Afghanistan. He didn't elaborate. Would you care to? Just out of
Yes, of course. I repeat, we joined the US war, dislodged a friendly Pakistani, which was friendly to Pakistan, and got in a government that was pro-India.